All right, my friends, welcome back to part 3 of the AMD PC and all my troubles. So, okay, guys, as you can see behind me, it's back up, it's running. I'm just gonna give you guys the story so that you guys can understand like what happened. Okay, so I came home from work yesterday. I jumped on. I had so let me back up just a little bit. So since Windows 24 H2 came out, and I had updated to that around the time that Spider-Man 2 came out. I started experiencing like this instability with my AMD build. Okay, so it's just kind of been like that, but nothing major. So back then I'd started doing like a little bit of research, telling you, hey man, you should update your BIOS and stuff like that. And here's the thing, you know, like they've always said, well, hey, if your PC's running well, you don't need to really update the BIOS and stuff like that for the motherboard. And I just was like, okay, that kind of makes sense, you know, because, you know, sometimes doing an update can break something else or something like that, and just if you're not experiencing a lot of instability. But Windows 24 H2 did cause instability in my PC, or like just like random weird things. Started noticing like my controller and stuff like that, you know, like the red and yellow light would come on, my PC would crash, not like super often or anything, but it would, you know, every once in a while it would just, you know, crash or whatever, just out of the blue. You know, usually when I'd play like, and it was always, it would always happen around new game launches for some reason. I think it was a Spider-Man 2 would crash it, and then I think there was like 1 or 2 after that maybe that would crash it. But well, so yesterday I come home, okay, I turn on, you know, I'm excited, you know, Xbox gave me a key for, you know, South of Midnight. I was like, dang, I want to play this game. I want to jump right into it. I want to crank a video out for the 9070 XT. I want to crank one out for the 5070 Ti, you know, just, and Last of Us 2, all these games coming out yesterday. So I'm like already feeling like, oh my gosh, I just got so much to do. I just got off work. I've got to get content out. I got to get these games covered, stuff like that, you know, and I just had like these plans that I wanted to do yesterday. So what I did was I came home and jumped right on, and I start downloading South of Midnight, okay? And I'm, you know, looking at, you know, I was you know, looking at the Last of Us 2 too, and I was like, okay, that one there needs to update. So what I did was I was sitting there and I was watching that, so I jumped over here on the other build on my 5070 Ti, and I started getting South of Midnight downloaded over there. Well, as I'm doing that and I'm looking back over here, the PC like just straight crashed. Like it crashed over here. So I was like, gosh, dang it. So I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, I'm like, you know what? Maybe I should just update the BIOS, you know? So that's what I did. I was sitting here on the other PC and I threw in my, you know, I grabbed my little key, I threw it in there and I downloaded the update for, actually, no, I got back on this PC. I started it back up. I got back on there and I downloaded the BIOS update for that, you know, and then I turned it off, and so I just went straight for the top BIOS or whatever, the newest one. It's like 325, and so I threw that on there. I was like, okay, so I put it in there, and then legit after that it wouldn't boot anymore. Like it wouldn't boot into anything, and I was like, what the freak, man? So I started freaking out because here's the thing, man. I work a full-time job. I come home. I don't have time to sit and deal with the PC nonsense. I just don't. Like I don't have time to sit and troubleshoot or do anything like that. You got to understand that like YouTube and covering gaming, and it's almost like you got to be first to have content out there, just to have just to even get the clicks or anything like that. Like you just kind of have to. And I know it's not always like that, and it doesn't always have to be like that if I just took more time and I was more creative, but I get so like wound up and I get so caught up in, you know, just wanting to do content or put content out that I love it, and that's all I think about, you know. And so I'm trying to do that, and I'm so ADD that once I get something on my mind, like I've been thinking about it all day, and I'm like, oh, and I'm just, when something else comes up like that stops me dead in my tracks, it literally just throws me off, and it makes everything completely nuts. So I stop thinking critically. I do, and I just start thinking like, okay, I need to solve this problem now. I'm gonna run up, buy a new motherboard, come back, put it in, and you know, just stupid things. Okay, I get stupid things like, like buying a new CPU. So I bought another 7800X 3D in preparation for today. I was like, okay, fine, the motherboard's fried. I'm gonna do a new motherboard. And you guys can't blame me, because I was going off of some of your guys' things in the comments section. You're like, oh man, it's a CPU. Froggy bought a CPU. I was like, and trust me guys, yes, I know I can RMA the one that I've already got, but that takes time. When you're a YouTuber, when you're creating content, when the 9070 XT build is literally like a majority of your content, you don't have time. Like, you have to just bite the bullet. You have to bite the bullet. You do. It would make me no sense to sit here for a week, 2 weeks or whatever, just to get it back. You have to bite the bullet. So what I did was I was like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do, because I need this PC up immediately. I'm gonna get a CPU. I'm gonna get a new SSD so I can load Windows onto it. I got a new motherboard, I got brand new memory, so I bought all of this stuff because I was like, I would just as soon rebuild the whole thing and then go pick up a new AIO and just rebuild it and just whatever. I need it to be working for the weekend. Like, I don't have time to sit and worry about things. So now that you guys kind of understand that, look, man, in my fits of rage, yes, I did try things. And when you guys are like, oh man, there was a lot of people in the comments are like, hey Frog, man, what you're running a super old BIOS. I legit freaking ran the BIOS back because it was stable before I did the BIOS. You know what I mean? Like, before I upgraded the BIOS, I could at least turn the PC back on and get in there. But I was afraid that, oh man, I messed up the motherboard doing the BIOS, because now it won't even boot. I ran back the BIOS and it still wouldn't let me back in. I was like, dude, something's wrong. Pulled out the battery, reset it, just all kinds of stuff. I was like, I don't have time, and my mind is not in a critical thinking stage right now. Like, I'm trying to get content out. When I'm at work, my brain's in critical thinking mode. When I come home to do YouTube, my brain is like, okay, like it's scattered. It's crazy. And so, yeah, yesterday was just a scattered day for me when it comes to that. Like, I was not expecting to have to stop dead in my tracks to deal with PC issues. So yeah, that gets frustrating. It's time consuming, it's annoying. But then today, so let me tell you the process of today. I came home. I had already downloaded a new Windows copy on here. So this was my plan. I was like, all right, I'm gonna go home and I'm going to reinstall Windows first. That's what I'm gonna come home. I'm gonna update the BIOS on this new board, because I didn't even touch the new board. I just literally put it on there to see if it would post. It was still doing the same thing. So I was like, okay, it's not gonna work. So I did the BIOS. I did the BIOS, I uploaded the BIOS, and then I was going to, on my other PC, download a Windows and run Windows on it to see if it would even like pick up on my SSD that's already in there right now before I change this out. Because that was the first step. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna throw a brand new drive in there, and we're gonna start from there. We're gonna see if we can at least do Windows. So, but boom, it worked. I updated the BIOS and it came back to life. I was like, nice, okay, that's good. So thankfully I only bought a new board and I'm out of board and like memory or whatever, but I'm just gonna run all 4 sticks. I'm just gonna put these in there too. I'm probably gonna have to run them at like the 4800 megahertz or something. I was reading something that says that the X3D chips, they don't boost the memory or whatever that well when you do 4 sticks, but I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna see what it's like, see if it does anything, and then, after that, I don't know, man. Like, I don't have a lot of time. I like to just make videos and put them out like as quick as I can, sometimes. So, all right, my friends, there you go. I want to thank you all, seriously. Even the little jerks that keep saying the mean stuff in there. Like, thank you guys, man. Thank you guys for watching that video. Thank you for commenting. There were so many freaking awesome, good suggestions in there. I'm sorry I wasn't able to respond to those. There was just over 800 freaking comments on that video. There was nothing I could do like I had to work today, but I'm gonna try to, you know, read through them this weekend and stuff, and you know, try to answer as many as I can. But yeah, you guys are awesome, man. So many good freaking suggestions, you know, that you know, kind of just jogged my memory and stuff. You know, I was able to like read some at lunch and, you know, during break at work and stuff. So that was pretty awesome. I did not have enough time this morning to read all of them. I was like, oh gosh, I started scrolling through them. I was like, oh no, there's no way I can do this. I was like, wow. So, okay, you guys are awesome, man. Thank you so much. Yeah, I am a little bit like kind of starting to get a little bit, not necessarily irritated with PC. I freaking love PC gaming and I love everything about it. But at the same time, man, like, whoo, boy, this can get frustrating, man. Running into problems like this is quite annoying. And it seems like ever since Windows 24.2, I've had nothing but, I'm not even joking, guys. Before that, even on NVIDIA builds, okay? And this is me being real. It was pretty smooth sailing, you know, like every once in a while there'd be like something, you know, but nothing this major to the point where it was like, what the freak? But now with 24H2, oh my gosh, this thing is nuts, man. Like it is so annoying. It's not even funny sometimes. So I am grateful to all of you guys for being in the comment section. Thank you guys so much. I'm glad that this was just a pretty simple, easy fix. So all right, man, we'll see you guys in the next one. I've got some content planned for this weekend, so we will get on it. We'll see you guys later.